Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn something about the list view. Now in order to understand what a list view is, you could take an example of your contact book or the phone book in your Android device. So for example, whenever you open up the contacts in your Android device, you could see a list of contacts or the list of your friends and their contact number. So a list view is basically used in order to create such a layout which has some content into it, and the content is displayed as a list. So in this tutorial we'll learn how we could create our own list views so that we could display some items which need to be listed as a list. So the first thing which we do is that we create a new Android project. So I exited out of my previous project and we are going to click on this start a new Android Studio project, and now let's name the application as My List App. Then click next, select the API level to be 15, click next, and in this case we are going to go with the blank activity, and let the name of our main activity be main activity. Click finish. So as you could see, this is our basic activity layout and we need to add a list to this layout right here. So the first thing which we do is that we delete the hello world which is present over here. So once we remove this, our next task is to create a list view here. So we go inside the text view. So we switch to text view and we add a list view over here. So we go right here, and in order to create a list view, we type list view, and now the layout and now the width of the list view is going to be match parent, as well as the height of the list view is going to be match parent. So as you could see, we have successfully added the list view. Now once you switch to design view, you could see that under this relative layout we have the list view here. So as you could see, this is our list view. Now the next thing which we do is that we give an ID to the list view. So we simply select the list view, go to properties and give it an ID. So let's say we want to name this list view as My List View. So once you give an ID to your list view, you could see that the screen right over here changes. So basically now we got a list which has item 1, item 2, item 3, and also each item has a sub item over there. So now once you run this application, you won't be able to see these items, and that is because these items are the dummy items and it is added just for the representational purposes. So our next objective would be to add some items to this list view. So in order to do that, we switch to this main activity which contains the Java code for our activity, and we delete the unnecessary code which the Android Studio has generated. So make sure that you delete everything, and once everything is deleted, let's say if your main activity extends action bar activity or app compat activity, you simply change this to a simple activity. So once this is done, the next thing which we do is that as we need to store in some contents into the list, we are going to go ahead and create a list. So one way for creating this list is by using a string array. So a string array is basically a collection of strings in which every position of an array we store some string. So let's say we want to display a list of some fruits. So we go into this main activity.java, which is our Java file, and we go inside here and inside the onCreate method, and inside this onCreate method we are going to design a simple array, and that array is going to be used to store string values. So we type string, then for the array representation we have the square brackets, and then we name our array as fruits, as we are going to store some fruits names. So we type string fruits equals, and inside these curly braces we are going to list out the fruits which we want to store. So let's say the first fruit is apple, orange, peach, and let's say we add one more, let's say it is mango. Okay, now once this is done, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to attach this array right here to this list view right here. But the main issue or the main problem in doing that is that we cannot directly attach this string to this list view right here. So in order to attach an array to the list view, there is a thing which is called as the list adapters, which we are going to use to connect the two. So for example, if you have to attach a string array to the list view, we need the list adapters. In this tutorial we are going to learn how we could associate a string which we have created right over here to our list view, so that these items in the strings are going to get displayed on the list. So in the previous tutorial we have created a basic list view which has some items, and now we are going to add up our own items by using a string. So as earlier explained, in order to associate any string array with the list view, we need to make it adapt to the list view. So for making it adapt, we are going to use some things which is called as the list adapter. So in order to use the list adapter, we go right here and we type in list adapter. Then we need to create an object of the list adapter. So let's say the object name is my adapter. Then we type it equals new, and as we are going to use an array adapter because we are making this array adapt to a list, so we type array adapter, and it is going to ask us a parameter, and that parameter is nothing but it is going to be the data type of the array. So in this case, as we are going to store strings into array, so we give here the parameter as string. So once we have passed the string to this new array adapter, we also need to pass the parameters for the list. So the first parameter by default is going to be this. The second parameter is going to be android dot r dot layout dot simple list item 1. And the thing which we have passed right here is going to be the type of the list which we want to create. So as we want to display the item as a simple list, we pass on simple list item 1, and then finally we need to pass in the name of our list. So in this case, as we want to pass in this array right here, so we type in the array name, which is fruits. So now once this is done, we are done with the list adapter. Now the last thing which we need to do is that we need to get reference to the list view, and then we need to set this array adapter as the content inside the list view. So in order to get a reference to the list view, we type list view, then the name of our list is nothing but my list view. So we type it equal to, so first we typecast it, so we type list view here, and then we get the reference by typing find view by id r.id dot my list view. Now once we have the reference to our list view, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to set the display adapter or the adapter to my list view. So we use the my list view object which we have created right now. So we type my list view and use the set adapter method in order to set the adapter. So we type dot set adapter, and to this we pass in the adapter which we have created. So we type my adapter. So once this is done, we save the code and we run our application onto the emulator. As you could see, our application is up and running on the emulator, and we got the list for our fruits. So this is apple, orange, peach and mango. So if you notice that whenever we click on this things right here, nothing happens, and that is because we have not yet added an on-click listener to these items. So the next thing which we are going to do is that we are going to add on-click listener to each of these items. So let's go ahead and do that. So now in order to add an action listener, we go inside our main activity.java and we are going to add the code for the action listener right over here. So basically what we are trying to achieve here is that we are going to add an action listener to the my list view. So we type my list view dot set on item click listener. So this is going to get triggered whenever we select or whenever we click an item on the list. So inside it we are going to write in the code which we want to execute. So we type new adapter view dot on item click listener, and it is automatically going to add the methods for us. Now the next thing which we need to do is that we need to get the reference, or we need to get the reference to the clicked item, and we need to store it into some string. So let's create a string here. So we type string fruit equals string dot value of, and we are going to extract the value of the item. So basically this is going to return the value of the item or the position of the particular item which we have selected. So we type parent dot get item at position, and inside it we pass on the position. So we type position over here. So this line of code right here is going to get the position of the item first. So once the position of an item is extracted, the next thing which we do is that we extract the value. So we type string dot value of the position of the item at that particular position. So once we have the value of the string stored in this fruit right here, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to display the value on the activity screen. So in order to do that, we use a method, or we use something which is called as toast. So just like a normal toast, this toast is going to pop up onto our screen and it is going to display some text. So we type toast dot make text, and to this text we are going to pass in a few parameters. So the first parameter which we are going to pass is going to be the main activity. So we type main activity dot this, then we pass in the string which needs to be displayed. So we type fruit. The next thing we pass in is the duration of how long the toast should be displayed. So we type toast dot length long, which specifies that the toast is going to be displayed for a long period of time on the screen. So once this is done, we simply use the show method so as to display the toast. So we type dot show, and now once everything is done, we save the code and we execute it on the emulator. So as you could see, our application is up and running on the emulator. So whenever we click an item on the list view over here, the item is going to get displayed on the text over here. So if you click mango, it is going to display mango. If you click on peach, it is going to display peach. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you guys understood how the lists are created. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.